Holloway versus Poirier 3. I said in the beginning, Will, the end of an era, a very emotional moment for a lot of grown ass men. Will,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, uh, last night, as soon as that first video popped up where he's sitting there in front of the large screens, and
Yeah.
I'm like, man, this is pretty emotional. Then his daughter hops on
Oh,
and
that's
tells
that's the
him
part, dude.
how proud she is of him. Bro, I'm just over here just like
Bro. And then you see when he's watching that part, you see like this part of his mouth like kind of twitch and stuff, like
oh
it starts to like
yeah.
wobble. And you're like, "Oh no, dude. Don't do
It
this."
it was insane. And we'll talk about the fight in a minute, but we just have to talk about the lead up, right? We all know
Hmm.
Dustin Poirier, what he's done for his for all the fans in his career, giving us moment after moment after moment.
Dude.
And so for him to announce, hey, this is going to be my last fight, the last dance they called it. The event's in New Orleans. He's from Lafayette, Louisiana, so he's a Louisiana boy through and through, and it's a home fight going up against another legend, man, Max Holloway. And for
Yeah.
him, how awesome is that, dude? He could have said, "Hey, give me somebody else," right? Like, this is my last fight. He didn't want that. He wanted to go out fighting one of the best. That's what he's been doing for years. So the lead up, everything's just excitement. I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about it. Um, and he wanted to go out getting the BMF belt, right? This was for the
Just
BMF belt too.
I think also just against another great and then just in an action fight. You don't want to be you don't want to be grappling the whole. We both love grappling, but we don't want to be see him fight a wrestler and get smothered for his retirement fight or anything crazy like that. But it
Yeah,
does show you kind of what he means to the sport that the UFC didn't give him some like up and coming killer to get a win over him to build a name or anything like that. We don't get that with Dustin, and I think partly because of he's 36. This is his 40th pro fight. He may be not there at the champion level at this point in his career or like where he's at as an athlete, but he never we never got to see the fall from grace of Dustin. And
mm-mm.
I think that's what he talked about too. He wants to leave on his own accord and with all his faculties
His
and
own
not
terms. Yeah,
on a 8 fight losing streak or, losing to guys he probably shouldn't be. I mean, you look at the resume, the one time you could argue maybe was the Benoit Saint-Denis fight, and you're like, ooh, is this a fight that Prime Dustin wins this fight, but what about this Dustin at 35 fucking smokes him? So you're like, okay, he's still at the top, right? He shut the gate every time somebody tried to get through. I don't want to call him a gatekeeper or anything like that, but he a perennial top five guy, fought for the belt multiple times, interim champion,
ah,
and we never
man.
really got to see the fall from grace, which is fucking awesome. You know,
Yeah,
most guys
no,
we don't get that.
absolutely, absolutely. And he's been super smart about it, man. He's started his own businesses off to the side. He has, um, his
The hot sauce, dude.
foundation, the Good Fight Foundation. He has so many
Yeah.
things going on, and for him to say, "Look, I know that what I do isn't good for you. So
Hmm.
I also want to be able to remember walking my daughter down the aisle, and he's doing it the right way, man, and for the right reasons. And so
Yeah.
I'm super happy for Dustin Poirier. Um, and it maybe didn't end the way he would have liked it, but we can go ahead and talk about the fight now. Now that we've talked about the build up, what this meant, why
Yeah.
so
Let's
many grown
actually.
ass men were so emotional last night, and we'll cover it a little bit more. So we had Holloway versus Poirier 3. This is the third time meeting. Will, the first one I believe was Holloway's debut into the
Yeah, it
UFC.
was when he was like 20. That was in 2012. And yeah, and real quick, shout out Pepper NG in the chat. This is the first time he actually sat down, watched a UFC event, and for the record, I was always on Team Max. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you don't want to see either of these guys lose. All you can really do, I
No,
told shout out Julian, I was telling him, because he was like, I don't know what to even think about this matchup, and I was like, it's probably better for the sport if Max wins moving forward from this fight, right? He's still going to be at lightweight, all this stuff. It's better for him to go out on a win out of this, and then but it's probably better for my heart if Dustin wins. I want to see him win in his retirement fight against a legend like Max. But that's kind of where it's at. Ultimately, when it's a fight like this, I think all you can really ask for is a good fight. I don't want to
yeah,
see a bad
yeah,
fight. I don't want to see either of these guys lose. I want to see them both win. Just hope for a good fight, and we
Majority
got it.
draw.
Yeah, no, I don't want to draw either. Hey, shout out Regen. Been a while. What up, boys? What a fight. What a night. Yeah. Shout out
Yeah,
Regen.
it's
Make
been
sure
a
you
while,
check out his
Regen,
channel too.
for
Also,
sure.
NG, check out Pepper on Instagram. He's got some cool Muay Thai videos. Shout out Grimory on Twitch. Respect. Thanks for joining.
Thank you for joining us on
But yeah,
Twitch.
let's get into the actual fight. Fight starts.
Yes.
The walkout. UFC, what the fuck are we doing? First off, this is Dustin's retirement fight. We're like, we haven't been to Louisiana in 10 years since he knocked out Yancy Medeiros, if you remember that beatdown. Um, is his retirement fight. We're putting him at the main event. We're doing this basically for Dustin as a farewell. Let's have him walk out first.
That's not how it works. But that's not how it works, right? Because
What do you
he's the
mean?
one. We have
He's
Max, the one
challenging
that's defending the title. It'd be
the
different if it
the made
wasn't for
up.
the title,
No, no, no,
the
no, no.
made up title.
Hold on. The title that they made up. They made up
Yes,
this title. It's not a real belt. It's
yes,
a
not a
BMF
real
belt.
belt, BMF belt.
They make all the rules, meaning they can change them whenever they want, and they do.
But Dustin is the
Why not this
challenger.
time?
Dustin's the challenger in this case.
No,
Fake
come
belt or
on.
not, this is the process they followed. And look,
They
well,
don't follow a process ever.
I'll sit back and let you shit on the UFC all day, every day. And a lot of times I'm in agreement with you.
Yeah.
But in this case, I feel like they did such a good job with Dustin's send off.
No,
Yes, it would have been awesome for him to
everything
walk
else.
out later and everything. But yes, they followed the process that they've had in place for years. Fake belt or not, old belt, new belt. It's the process. He was the challenger. He comes in a little bit later.
No, but hold on
But
though. Real quick. They do make exceptions. All the rules that they create, heavier title fights go on after for the main event if there's two titles on the card, but they make exceptions. When Conor fought Mendez for the not even a real belt, they had him go on in the main event over the welterweight title
for
in
the
Rory
interim,
versus Robbie. Yeah, so it's like they do make rules, but they break them for special occasions. If this wasn't a
but when's the
special occasion,
last time you saw a challenger walk out last?
it doesn't matter when it's not a real belt.
I'm
This
just
isn't
saying. I'm just saying. This is like we shouldn't be surprised or say like, hey, the UFC did Dustin Poirier dirty. What are
I'm
we
not saying
doing
they
here?
did them dirty. I'm just saying, how do you drop the ball on that? Especially when they do all these great things for him with the farewell package earlier in the card.
Yes,
That they
yes.
do all this stuff
Then he
so
sure it was in
perfectly.
Louisiana too, with all the
Exactly.
voodoo. They weren't worried about the
So what's
voodoo.
one more concession, a minor concession
Dude,
that
I'm,
would have
I'm
made the
just
moment
saying.
much better.
I'm just saying. Look, usually shit on the UFC all you want. I think they did a phenomenal job in this case. That is a small thing.
It is
Everything else I felt like was such an awesome farewell for Dustin
truly,
Poirier. And yes, they could have made another exception, but they didn't. And look, first round starts off,
yeah,
and your boy's in trouble right off the bat.
right
Holloway
away,
lands. Was it a straight right? I think it
straight
was.
right, yeah,
And I thought, okay, it might be
open
an early night.
stance,
Might be
open
an early
stance
night,
rear hand. Well, because
right?
that was the question, right? We're like, the big difference in the second fight was that the first fight was at featherweight when Max was 20, long time ago. Second fight was at lightweight, but it was short notice for Max. He even calls himself Muffin Top Max. He was just trying to put on any sort of weight to make lightweight, and so he wasn't like a real lightweight versus Dustin. And then we see him fight Gaethje, where he fully bulked up for that at UFC 300, and we see Max has power at lightweight, and that wasn't there in the or the second Dustin fight. Sorry, but in this fight, you're like, okay, this new lightweight Max. Let's see, because the power difference was very noticeable in their second fight at lightweight. Let's see now how it works in this one. And almost the first clean punch he lands drops
Stuns him. Yeah.
Dustin, and you're like, oh, okay, this is going to be a very different fight. Right away, we know this is different.
And then Dustin tries to get back up, right? And
Hmm.
as he's still kind of hunched over, Max lands a huge left.
Yeah,
And I'm like, oh no, this is not how you want to go out.
I was so mad,
And
dude.
but Dustin recovers very well. And this
Mhm.
is when I really notice it because you mentioned the size difference for Max. He's coming in now as a true 155er. He did it the
Yes.
right way, not up and down in weight. When they both stood up after that, I was like, oh shit. I just realized right now, like Max looks massive in there.
Dude, he looked much bigger than
He
Dustin.
looked massive.
Yeah, he looked bigger, and you could see he still has the speed, which is crazy. His hand speed is so good. And we've seen Dustin kind of be hittable early on in fights. Like if you watch all the Connor fights, Connor's lighting him up early in those fights, and you see him, knock his head back and wobble and readjust, and you're like, oh shit, dude, is this a short night for Dustin? And then as the fight, he kind of settles into a fight. He picks up his defense a little bit better, and I was like, man, if we can just get to that point, hopefully we're good. First round was tough. Second round, Max hurts him again early, and you're like, oh no, dude, like we're in the fight now, and he's still getting hurt, and Max hits him with like a four-punch combination, and Dustin's just backing up, getting hit by all these punches, and you're like, dude, you cannot be taking
Yeah.
these. You know.
Yeah.
Um, and Blender Shut Up Blunderbo says, look, man, they let people retire at the Apex, so they've done worse. They have done worse.
They
I
have
mean,
done a
Stipe
lot
didn't
worse.
get shit. Stipe
Yeah.
literally got
Some
nothing.
people didn't even get post-fight interview. They're like, hey, all right, dude,
Yeah.
just leave your gloves. Or not
Yeah,
even
but
like, hey,
also,
dude, pick your shit up, dude. You left your trash here, okay?
yeah,
Take it
as
with you.
soon as you put them down, pick them up, get the fuck out. But so yeah, Max hurts Dustin early in the second round too, and you're like, oh,
Beautiful
fuck,
combo, like
man.
you said. That was a beautiful
Yeah,
combo, right? Like when he came
very
in with
good
the right,
combination.
then he lands that left shovel hook that
Yeah,
really
very
cracked
good.
Dustin. Oh,
Because
beautiful.
you do kind of have to throw things like shovel hooks and stuff like that on Dustin because he does block. I mean, in
Yeah, that
Max's
high
words in
block
that
and
second
like
fight,
he
he's
has
blocking
very,
weird.
yeah,
Yeah, Philly shell kind of like elbows out. I forgot what they call it. Like cross blocking and stuff like that. But you know, after that in the second round when he got hurt, I was like, oh no, man. But then he starts landing his jab, and Max is doing a good job kicking. He's kicking a ton. They're both open stance, and the body kick for Max was landing constantly. And then he's throwing that side kick to the knee, just really disrupting Dustin, not letting him shift into his left hand like he does. But eventually he starts kind of mixing it up, and you see Dustin enter the fire to land his shots. And you can see he's like, okay, I can't stay at the end of these strikes for Max, this body kick or these long straight punches. I'm getting lit up. So what does he do? When he starts this is what makes Dustin so special. When he starts getting lit up, he steps in.
yeah.
It's not let me cover up. It's not let me shoot. Which there's no disrespect for shooting. If you need to shoot, you need to shoot. And
Sometimes
we'll
he'll
talk
jump
about
the
that.
ghillie.
Yeah, yeah, and we'll talk about shooting later when it gets to the firefight. But something that Dustin has done in his entire career, when he starts getting lit up, he enters that fire and he throws back with fire of his own. He fights fire with fire, and I can't imagine anybody else who embodies, you know, you'll hear Teddy Atlas talk about it all the time. These are firemen. When there's a fire, they step into the fire. And Dustin is one of those guys. Look at this picture right here. This doesn't look like somebody who's ready to go to war. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then what does he do? Later on in that same round, he starts entering the pocket with Max and you know, extending these exchanges because dude, when he starts slugging with somebody, he's heavy-handed, man. When he sits down and starts punching, and Max, I don't know if he got too careless because he was very in and out for the first like section of this fight, the first like 9 minutes of it, 8 minutes. And then Dustin cracks him with the right hand. And you're like, oh, that was a big one. And then he cracks him again, and Max goes down. Dude, when he dropped Max, I jumped out of my seat, grabbed my head. I was like, no fucking way this guy who just got dropped in the first 7 minutes twice, now he's dropping Max. Like, what a fucking guy. In his retirement fight, jumps the guillotine. And I was like, no fucking way he's about to guillotine him in his
If he
retirement
would have
fight.
won like that, oh my God.
Could you imagine, dude? Did you think it was gonna be? Did you think he had him there when he hurt him?
No, 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 no. I didn't.
Yeah.
It just didn't seem like he had it in. Like he didn't
No,
have
no,
it.
no. I just mean when he dropped him.
No,
When Max got dropped.
no, 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 no. I didn't. Um, I think that people forget Max is extremely resilient too, and we've
Oh,
seen him
durable.
recently get knocked out by Topuria, but
And
who
that was another
Topuria's
question.
knocking everybody out though.
But that was also another question going in the matter of when does Max's chin crack? Because while he has the record way ahead of everybody else as far as significant strikes landed, he also absorbs a ton of shots.
Yeah,
It's not like
and
he's
it's natural, right? After a while, the
Mhm.
human body is going to want to throw up its self defense mechanism a lot faster.
Yeah.
Um, Some get cracked against
And
Topuria. Now he's getting dropped. Max would never get dropped off of anything.
well, I believe Ilya was the first one to drop him, correct?
Yeah, Yeah.
Yeah, this was the second time he's ever been knocked down in his whole career. So going into this, the biggest questions for me were wasn't necessarily like how much does Dustin still have in him with his retirement fight because we hadn't seen the drop off like we were talking about earlier. So that wasn't really a question going into this for me. The two biggest questions for me was how does Dustin fight or how does Max perform as a true lightweight now against Max or against Dustin compared to their second or their first fight in lightweight? You know, with him carrying this weight correctly, how different does that make this fight? The second biggest question was, what does Max look like after that knockout from Ilya? Because we've never seen him even dropped. We know he takes a ton of damage in his fights.
Mm.
We've never seen him get dropped. He got flatlined by Ilya. This is the bounce back fight. What do we got? Both those questions were answered, which is for me the best part of the sport is, you know, these types of questions at the highest level getting answered where, oh, when he carries this weight, he hits different at lightweight. He's a real lightweight now. You know, it's not like
Yep.
a featherweight who is fighting these guys at a
Yep.
size disadvantage. He's hitting hard. And then secondly, he took some hard fucking shots from Dustin in this fight. And he got dropped once, but the recovery was there.
Coverage was there.
Uh, how crazy was
God,
that
that
moment though?
Hawaiian
This
chin, dude. Jesus.
Yeah, this moment right here at the end of that round where Dustin had him hurt, the bell rings. No one even heard it. The ref Herzog didn't hear it. Dustin didn't hear it. Max didn't hear it. Uh, I forgot who said it in the post-fight press conference, but they were like the cage doors were opening. They were still fighting because the officials heard it and they were getting in. And they're like, "Oh shit, dude!"
Just let him go, dude. Just let him go. Herzog,
Yeah,
just push everybody back out. Get out of here. Dude,
man.
it's crazy, man. But just overall, right? Such a solid fight. Did you have Max Holloway winning?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
right.
Yeah, and the fight continued. They basically just slugged it out for the rest of this fight, both tagging each other. At no point after that, I don't think anybody was really ever hurt bad. No one ever else
No,
got.
but from that point on,
Mhm.
whoever went first and
Yes,
whoever was extending the combos
yes,
was getting the better of the exchanges.
and I think one thing you're definitely right about that. And I think one thing that maybe shows like yeah, maybe it is a good time for Dustin to hang him up is he definitely did seem much more hesitant for the rest of this fight
Mhm.
after feeling that power from Max. Both times he was dropped, you could tell he wasn't crashing in like he normally would, and I think that's a very good thing for him to realize and know about himself, saying, "Hey, I don't really need this any longer. I don't need
Yeah.
to jump into this firefight like I'd always do. I still can. We saw it where he drops him, but." At this point in his career, if that's not your instinct, then maybe it is time to walk away before it gets too bad, before we start to see a drop off.
How about
Um,
this moment right here, Will? We all know it's like 12 seconds, I want to say, left on the clock. And Dustin looks up at the clock because he knows
yeah,
it's coming, bro.
dude. Even
He
at
knows
30
it's
seconds,
coming.
he kept looking up. He was like, okay,
And
okay,
we finally get to the 11-second mark. You have Max that points down in the center of the octagon. Dustin agrees. First thing Dustin does, though, is shell up, right?
he's like,
And then,
let me wear a couple, and
yeah.
then I'll
Max
go,
rips to the body, dude. Dustin throws one shot.
dude. But that right hook that Dustin lands, dude, that completely twists the head and then snaps back at Max. That right hook that he landed on Max was fucking huge.
Max did not care.
Max Max doesn't give a fuck. He comes back with
He's
like a
so
six punch
crazy.
combination to
Talk
the
about a
point where
firefighter.
Dustin's like, I gotta clinch, dude. This is fucking gnarly.
Well,
And we,
he got clipped though. Dustin got clipped as well, and you
oh,
saw a point
dude,
where
he
like he
got lit
was like,
up.
"Oh man, I
Yeah,
gotta hold on to Max right now."
yeah.
So
Let's watch it
oh my goodness,
from
talk about a
cage side
moment here.
footage.
Here we
Look at them.
go. Points down,
Final moment of his
little
career,
dap, boom, rips the body, lands one right hook on the chin, and then Max just unloads, bro. Oh
dude.
my god.
Dude, you see that right hook that Dustin lands, the flurry from Max, then the right hook from Dustin. Max sets up, acknowledges that shot, and just says, "Let's fucking go," and then comes back with like a 12 punch combination. Watch Max's reaction when he gets hit with that right hook.
So he
It's
points down
crazy,
again,
man.
right? They give a little dap here,
Right
rips
hook,
to the
here it comes,
body, and
bam.
he says,
Dude,
"Yeah,
Max
yeah."
Max acknowledges that and says, "That's what I'm fucking here for." That's crazy, man. That is
All right.
crazy. And
I
I see some people giving Dustin some shit. Wow, you go out like I thought he would have gone out in a shield to end his career, but instead he clinches him in that moment. Yeah, and Regen, not gonna lie, Dustin kind of ruined the point down at the end. But again, I think that is exactly why this is his retirement fight. In that moment, he even said in the post-fight press conference, he's like, I got hit a couple times and I was like, I'm driving my daughter home. I told her we're watching a movie. I thought, let's wrestle. And that is why this is the time to retire. Don't let it get too
Dustin, two
far.
years ago, would have just gone out on a shield, dude.
100%.
Right?
Yeah, you don't go for a clincher or takedown during the point down. Look, to his credit, he did throw down. He gave a good shot. We had another moment earlier in the card, Brendan Allen versus Vettori, which somehow won fight of the night, where they point down at the end. And Brendan initiates it. He points down. They throw two shots, and he shoots for like a legit takedown. And you're like, hey, man, you're the one that pointed
Hey,
down.
man.
Andre Fili,
Even
I think, did
Dana
the same
said.
thing.
Even Dana said he's like, dude, look, there's a bunch of people that point down at the center
Yeah.
of the cage, but nobody really wants it. There's one guy that fucking wants it,
Yeah,
and
dude.
that's Max Holloway. Every
And
single time he'll
be
point
fair,
down and he'll go at it.
To be fair, Gaethje wanted it too.
Yes, he wanted all the smoke and he got all the smoke. So hey,
He
yeah, I
got
just
all
want to
the
read a
smoke.
couple things. So Regen, when talking about the retirement, said it couldn't have gone any better. I mean, if he would have won, it might have been better. But
Yeah.
Max looked unbeatable early on. Then Dustin was able to show who the F he is.
Yes.
And Max goes on, hopefully for another title fight, right? Absolutely. When
Exactly.
you talk storybook, again, writing it out in hometown, last fight because you want to focus on your family. You're still, one of the fan favorites. You have celebrities. You have other fighters because you're other fighters' favorite fighter.
Yeah.
You have everybody there in attendance just giving you your flowers, man. The only thing Hollywood written would have been he wins.
Yes. Yeah.
Everything else, so good.
Dude, every single thing on like a perfect retirement was checked off, except for the win, which ultimately, okay, you came up short on the win, but he didn't get outclassed. He didn't
He
get
went
knocked
out
out in that
with
first
a
round when he
war.
got dropped.
Fun fight.
He like Regen said, he answered back from that adversity. He
Yes.
threw down. It was a great fight. Um, he got to walk out without being knocked out. He got to get interviewed by DC, another Louisiana legend in MMA.
And
Uh,
Max, so
and
classy, dude. He's like, hey, just want to
yeah,
say, whoever wants this BMF belt, like, I got you, blah, blah, but this is my moment. This is Dustin Poirier's moment. Dude,
did he
class.
didn't he did he do the same thing for Korean Zombie? I think he did.
I think so. I think you're
I think
right.
I think he did a quick interview and was like, Korean Zombie's a legend. Let him do his thing now.
Dude,
I'm out.
Max, dude. And then did you see his son?
Rush, yeah,
Rush, yeah, he was thanking Dustin in the octagon. There's footage of him in the back, right, where he
yeah,
thanks Dustin for giving his dad an opportunity to be his last fight. And then Dustin's like, dude, your dad gave me the opportunity. And
yeah,
he congratulates him on his career. I'm like, dude, that entire family.
yeah. Very
Class
cool,
acts, dude.
dude. And
Class
then
act.
Dustin on his way out, you got legends like the Korean Zombie and stuff. We were just talking. I mean, they've shared the octagon together, right? They fought, um, and they all the people who were giving him his flowers on his way out really show you the type of guy he is. Like you said, there's
Yes.
celebrities there and stuff, but the fighters who were there to recognize his final fight and give him
All lined
the
up at the end.
respect.
All lined up at the
Legends.
end.
Joanna, dude. Oh my God, come on. You got Joanna, you got Korean Zombie. Who else was there? I think Kayla Harrison was there.
I
Not quite
wasn't
the
going to mention her
same,
because you
but
mentioned Legends, but yeah.
yeah, not quite the same, but still cool. She's a champion, right?
Yeah.
But to have the Korean Zombie and Joanna there especially Joanna with her ties to Florida as well, like just very, very cool. Dustin is a very special fighter, man. There's not a lot of guys like him,
In and out.
you know.
In and out of the octagon.
Yeah, and there's people. I do got to ask you this.
Please
Do you
ask.
think, because this is contentious. For me, it's a no-brainer, but a lot of people are like, what? No. Hall of Fame?
Dustin?
Yeah.
What? In the words of
Bro, a
Marvin
lot of
Vittori, how's that even a question?
bro, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people are like, well, he never even got a belt. How are you gonna get? I'm
Stop
like,
it.
shut the fuck
Stop it.
up.
Go through
Where's my number?
I wish we had this ready to go. If I would have known you were going to ask me that, I would have pulled up recent Hall of Fame
Yeah.
inductees.
Well, I will say I looked at it because I was like, wait, what's is there like some crazy high standard that I'm not aware of?
Regen says that's not even a question. How is that even a
Exactly.
question?
Thank
Again,
you. Thank you.
can you rip that portion, Marvin Vittori, for your soundboard?
Oh yeah, I
Remember
will.
when they're like, "Hey, who's better dressed, you?" And he's like, "How's that even a question?" All high pitched,
Yeah,
all pissed off, dude.
that's
That's
very
so
good.
funny.
I will pull that.
Yeah, please.
Um, but a lot of people are like, "What the fuck? No, he never got a belt. All this stuff. He came up short every single time." And you're like, "Shut the fuck up." This guy, Cowboy. I looked it up, so I was like, "What's the standard that these guys are like holding so dear for the UFC Hall of Fame?" Fucking Cowboy Cerrone's in it. If Cowboy's in it, Dustin's in it twice.
And
You
look,
know
I
what I'm
love
talking
Cowboy
about?
too. I love
I
Cowboy.
love Cowboy too, but let's be real. Dustin,
Part
I
of
think, has
this is
accomplished much
also
more.
like who was able to invoke so much emotion within fans every single time that their face was on the card, where people were like, "This is a must watch," like where they had an impact for the
Dude,
organization.
Dustin has
Come on,
delivered.
man.
Like Max said, he was at the end of this fight in the post-fight press conference. He's like, all you can really do in this game, you can't control the rankings, you can't control a lot of things in this fight game, but you can control creating moments. If you can create moments,
Oh,
that's
I'm
at the
getting
end of the
chills
day, that's
again,
a
dude.
yeah. Dustin
Oh,
arguably has created more moments than I don't want to say the majority of champions, but there's a lot of champions who don't deliver the moments that Dustin has delivered, even though they did get the belt, an undisputed belt.
you know what?
Um,
It's probably those casuals out there that just started watching
they just
when
look
he
at
fought Conor
Wikipedia
McGregor,
records.
and they're like, "So you beat Conor McGregor? All right, dude." Like,
Yeah.
come on, man. Max Holloway, Islam Makhachev,
Hold
Benoit
on, hold on, hold
Saint-Denis,
on.
where he knocked him out, Justin
Max Holloway,
Gaethje
Max Holloway three times,
three
Gaethje
times,
twice, Eddie
Chandler,
Alvarez
Oliveira,
twice.
Connor twice. The Dan Hooker fight, do you remember that one?
Legendary,
Where Dan Hooker's just
legendary.
off in the corner, dude. It's an absolute war. Dustin Poirier stands up early, walks towards Dan Hooker, and is like, "You ready, man? Let's go, dude. Let's go."
Bro, after
Khabib,
the fight, Hooker's on the stool, just fucking concussed and bloody, and they're tending to him. And Dustin's up in the center of the cage saying, "How about that, Dan? How about that, Dan?" You're like, "Holy
dude,
fuck,
the
dude!"
war with Eddie Alvarez.
Multiple
Oh my
times
god. Multiple times, yeah. We got to see that, the illegal knee. We got to see it
we were
live.
there.
Hey, we were
Yeah,
able to say we at least got to see Dustin Poirier in person live.
at least once.
That's pretty fucking cool, huh? Oh man, I don't want to get all emotional talking about it right now, dude. Believe it or not, it was a very emotional night for your boy last night. My wife had already fallen asleep, so I couldn't be as loud as I wanted to. But it's okay because I probably wasn't going to be extremely loud other than during the fight. And also
Mhm.
just my tears were silent tears. So it's okay.
You know,
I wasn't sobbing.
I somehow didn't cry in the retirement package when they were watching it in the cage. I actually thought they could have. It was good, but I thought the video could have been a little bit better that they played for him. They
Yeah, because
didn't really
leading,
highlight
they used the good stuff leading up to,
exactly. Yeah, they
you
did.
know?
Um, yeah, it wasn't really about like we talk about moments. That clip at the end didn't really focus on big moments. It was more just like a highlight reel. Is kind of what they played him instead of like the mountaintops that he climbed, and they could have done a little better there. But the first one that they showed, where they interview his first ever martial arts coach and his wife and his mom and
So
his
good.
daughter,
Did you
dude,
see the video of him reading the
that broke
letter
me. Oh
that
my
Theo Vaughn
god,
wrote from?
yeah,
So many emotional moments
what a
leading up to
legend.
it. Again, the buildup was insane. Hey, everybody, Romero and Will here. Thank you for watching that short clip. Just so you know, that was a small excerpt from what we covered this last Sunday, right, Will?
Yeah, we cover the entire event every weekend. So this was just a cutout from the live stream that we did. The link to that live stream is in the description. So if you want to hear about the other fights that night, it's down below in the description. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell because we go live every Sunday to cover events. And if you do that, you'll know for next week and you can tune in and be in the chat and get featured on the show just like everybody else was on this clip.
We hope to chat with you live.